If you're a human being with an internet connection, you've probably heard of the controversy surrounding It Ends With Us, which is a movie about domestic violence starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The media firestorm really started during the summer of 2024 during the press tour for the movie, which was a bit of a hot mess for various reasons. And then a few months after the film was released, Blake Lively launched a legal complaint and a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and other parties involved in the movie, alleging, among other things, sexual harassment. And then Justin Baldoni's camp followed that up with a counter lawsuit. Now, this video is about fashion. I'm not going to address the lawsuits too much except for a tiny bit at the end of the video. However, what I will say right now is that Blake Lively's sexual harassment allegations do seem credible to me. However, I don't think it's wise to speculate too much until this case has had its day in court, which will be in 2026. Now, Blake Lively wore a plethora of chipper floral looks to promote It Ends With Us, which in my opinion was misguided given the subject matter of the film. That said, I thought many of them were rather lovely, although some of them not so much. But the exciting part is that I got my hands on 2 of them and we're gonna have a look at them together. The first one is this little embroidered floral mini dress by Oscar de la Renta, and it is probably the most beautiful and immaculately crafted piece of clothing that I have ever physically held in my life. Well, maybe it's a tie with the Chanel Haute Couture blouse, which you can buy, by the way, if it's still available. But anyway, yeah, this little ODLR number is stunning. So the first thing you notice, obviously, are these stunning floral embroideries. And through watching a video on Oscar de la Renta's YouTube channel, I was fascinated to see that the inspiration is actually quite tangible. They had a florist named York Wu prepare a flower display for them, and when I saw the photo of the flowers all arranged together, I was like, oh my god, yeah, this is that dress. And then co-creative director Laura Kim used Photoshop to blur the flowers in places. She said she wanted to kind of give it like a marbled effect, so I guess that's why we see these like streaky embroideries in places between the flowers. Now, I didn't see any clips of this dress specifically being made, but all of these flowers would obviously need to be embroidered. I don't know if that would be by hand or by machine or some combination of the two. And then each of these flowers would need to be hand sewn onto the dress. This would all require a lot of effort, which of course contributes to the significant price tag. As well as being beautiful on the outside, it is also pretty well made on the inside. As you can see here, there is a bit of a corset situation going on inside the bodice, which is necessary to hold the dress up since it's strapless. Another very important part of keeping a strapless dress up is this strip of ribbon here at the waist called a waist stay. A waist stay supports the weight of the skirt so that the entire weight of the dress is not like being borne by your boobs, basically. There is also this hook and eye closure at the waist, which is a nice feature because it helps cinch you in there and keep the dress in place and also makes it easier to do up the zipper. Lastly, we've got the skirt's lining. It is 100% silk apparently, so that's nice. It has a very narrow rolled hem, otherwise known as a baby hem, which is not the easiest hem to do because you have to take your time to get it to be narrow like that and look nice. Overall, this is probably my favorite look of Blake Lively's from the It Ends With Us press tour. It's classy, it's pretty. There really is nothing you have to do styling-wise to make it look good. You just kind of put it on and go. So I think it makes sense for her and also is just really beautiful. Now we are going to move on to one of my least favorite looks from the press tour, and honestly I think it is the styling that makes it so bad for me because this dress really is quite sweet in real life. So it is this very cute little slip dress from Versace. It's a little too big on me, but that's okay. The body of the dress is this sheer knit mesh. It has these sweet little velvet flowers and strawberries and ladybugs on it. And then the lining is made of 100% silk, which really is such a luxurious feeling fabric. The lining has these little strawberries and ladybugs and flowers on it as well. So it really is a sweet little dress. However, for the press tour, Blake Lively wore it with these matching yellow tights, and I really think that that's the issue for me. I usually really don't like primary colors together, and I pretty much actively dislike tights in the vast majority of situations. If you've ever watched any of my videos about Chanel, you know that I'm kind of a tights hater. And so initially I was wondering, why didn't she just wear this cute dress and forget the tights? But now I'm realizing that you can see the tights through the dress on Blake, which probably means that she had some kind of like editorial unlined version of the dress, because the version I have on me right now is, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but it's like opaque enough, like my hand is ruffling around in there. You can't see the color of my hand. You can see it moving, but like you can't see that it's my hand, right? Like this is opaque enough that I don't think you would see yellow tights underneath. So since it is see-through, she had to wear something underneath it. And I guess since they sent her the tights, she probably figured it would just be easiest to wear those instead of trying to find something else. I know she doesn't have a stylist, or at least that's what I've heard, and she does typically seem to wear things right off the runway, so I guess it makes sense to me that instead of trying to find another way to style it, she would just wear the whole look they sent. That is not how I would have styled it though. I would have tried to find a slip or a bodysuit, maybe even some flesh-toned underwear. Anything but this. They do have a photo of this look with the sheer dress and the tights on the Versace website. However, I don't actually see the yellow tights for sale anywhere on the site. However, they do have skirt and boxer short versions of this strawberry yellow garden print, which I do think are kind of cute. Now, I'll briefly talk about the construction of this dress before we wrap things up. It is a cowl neck, sleeveless slip dress with this metal Medusa head hardware on the straps, which is of course a Versace signature. Like the Oscar de la Renta dress, both the lining and the body fabric of this dress have a narrow rolled hem, which again, not the easiest or cheapest option to hem a dress, but definitely the classiest option for something like this. Similarly, the seams inside are French seams, which is where the seam allowance is folded up inside the seam. And again, that takes a lot more effort than just like serging the seam, but it looks so much better. Overall, I think this is a lovely, sweet, fairly well-made little dress. I just did not like how it was styled for the press tour. So my overall opinion is that while Blake Lively did have some wonderful looks, and some not so wonderful, for the It Ends With Us press tour, I really think she did miss the mark, not only fashion-wise, but also in terms of some of her other behaviors, due to the fact that the movie is about domestic violence. Between her very chipper floral looks and telling people to wear florals to go see the movie, despite the fact that flowers really did not play a significant part of the plot, to her alleged avoidance of talking about the actual subject matter with the press, to her promotion of her own alcohol and hair care brands during the press tour. Remember, this is a movie about domestic violence. I don't think you should be promoting anything other than the movie when the subject matter is domestic violence. I just think her attitude about the whole thing was very misguided and frankly insensitive. Now, none of that makes her deserving of sexual harassment, which I think is the crux of what her legal battle with Justin Baldoni and other parties to that movie is about. And I do think her allegations are credible. She has several examples of being sexually harassed. They all seem like things that could plausibly happen. There is at least one video where Justin is improvising a romantic scene where Blake appears to be uncomfortable. Now, in my opinion, you should never be improvising a romantic scene without the explicit consent of your coworker, because that is what sexual harassment is. And there was also documentation of a meeting that had to take place during filming with lawyers involved because Blake was feeling harassed and uncomfortable. So based on that, it seems to me that she probably was sexually harassed and may also have been smeared in order to try to prevent that information from getting out. But we'll see what the courts say. At the end of the day, my opinion is this. None of what she has done, related to the press tour, related to other interviews she's given in the past, related to any other past behavior on her part, gives anyone the license to sexually harass her, okay? You don't get a free pass to sexually harass somebody because of other crappy behavior in other areas of their life, or even just behaviors you don't like. Alright, well, I think I've talked enough about that. This is not the usual subject matter of my videos. I usually stick to fashion. If you like fashion, I do too, so I have a feeling you'll like my videos. Please feel free to stick around and watch another one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.